So the Bose QC headphones are Bose's mid-tier ANC headphones, and as their name suggests, they're very comfortable to wear and they have a slightly improved active noise cancellation from their predecessor. But today we're going to compare the Bose QC headphones to both the Sony 1000XM5s and the Sony 1000XM4s. Can Bose keep up with Sony? Not so much.
Regarding pricing, both the Bose QC headphones and Sony 1000XM4s have a retail price of $350, whereas the Sony 1000XM5s have a retail price of $400. Now, since both of Sony's headphones are over a year old now, they both like to routinely go on sale, and I do expect the Bose QCs to go on sale eventually. Now, depending on your needs, you'll be better off with one over the other. Nonetheless, if you want to pick any of these headphones up, they'll be linked down below, or you can always try out the YouTube shopping button. And if you want to further support the channel, pick up a Big Head approved hat, link down below. We've got trucker hats and snapbacks. By buying a hat, you help the unbiased and unsponsored videos coming, and it also helps us cover more products and produce more versus videos. Thank you to everyone who's already bought a hat, and look out for more designs coming soon. And also, please remember to hit that like button and let's get subscribed. Now first, let's talk about the included carrying cases, because I think this is a big deal if you plan on traveling with your headphones. Now all of these cases are hard shell cases, which is great because they're all going to keep your headphones well protected, even if you cram them into a cramped backpack. However, both the Bose QCs and Sony 1000XM4s have decently small cases that aren't too thick and they don't have a large footprint. But then there's the 1000XM5's case, which just has a significantly larger footprint because these headphones have a lay flat design to them. So I feel that traveling with the XM5s is a hassle, especially when compared to either the XM4s or Bose QCs. But with the cases out of the way, let's talk about the headphones themselves. Regarding fit, both of Sony's headphones have a neutral fit to them, as in they aren't too tight and they aren't too loose, whereas the Bose QC headphones have a looser fit to them. Now all of these headphones are Big Head approved and they should have you covered if you also like to wear hats, but the Bose are just more comfortable because they have a looser fit. But staying on the topic of the headband, both the Bose QCs and Sony 1000XM4s have decently padded headbands, and hotspots are not an issue for either of these two headbands. Whereas since the headband on the Sony 1000XM5 is a lot thinner and since it has less padding, I have noticed that this headband likes to create a hotspot on the top of your head after like 40 minutes. But where the Bose QCs really stand out here fit-wise is going to come down to their weight and their earpads. Now, the Bose QCs weigh in at 235 grams, making them a pair of lightweight premium ANC headphones, whereas the Sony 1000XM5s weigh in at 250 grams, and the Sony 1000XM4s weigh in at 255 grams. Now, both of Sony's headphones are decently lightweight as well, because your average pair of premium ANC headphones weigh in at around 280 grams. But with the Bose QCs, since these are so lightweight, they're much easier to forget that you have on when you're sitting still, and you notice them shifting around a lot less when you're walking around with them on. But then there are the earpads on these headphones. Now, the 1000XM5s have the shallowest earpads here, so even if you have average size ears, they will press down on your cartilage, which can get uncomfortable after like 30 or 40 minutes. Whereas the earpads on the XM4s are a lot deeper, so these are going to have no problem fitting most ear types. But then there are the ear cups on the Bose QCs, which are even more spacious, so even if you have very large ears or ears that stick out a lot, these will have you covered. So overall, I'm not the biggest fan of how the Sony 1000XM5s fit because of their shallow earpads and minimally padded headband. Personally, I prefer how the Sony 1000XM4s fit over the XM5s, but then there are the Bose QCs, which are the most comfortable headphones here because of their spacious ear cups, loose clamping force, and lighter weight.
But with fit out of the way, let's talk about tech specs. Regarding battery life, the Bose QC headphones have an advertised battery life of 24 hours with their active noise cancellation turned on, which is okay, and technically this is an upgrade over the Bose QC 45s. Whereas with both of Sony's headphones, they both have an advertised battery life of 30 hours with the active noise cancellation turned on, and if you were to use them with their active noise cancellation turned off, then they're both going to be good for up to 40 hours of playback time. And this is actually another issue with the Bose QC headphones. You cannot use them with their active noise cancellation turned off, so you can't extend their battery life that way. And when it comes to charging these headphones, they all charge via a USB-C port, as they should. And when it comes to the fast charging numbers on these headphones, with the XM4s, if you were to plug them in for 10 minutes from a dead battery, they're going to get you 5 hours of playback time. With the XM5s, if you were to plug them in for 3 minutes, they're going to get you 3 hours of playback time. But then there are the Bose QC headphones, where if you plug them in for 15 minutes, they're only going to get you 3 hours of playback time. So overall, the battery life on the Bose QC headphones is okay, but Bose is still struggling when it comes to their battery life compared to Sony's headphones, because they both have a longer lasting battery life with their active noise cancellation turned on. You can always extend their battery life by using them with their active noise cancellation turned off, and they also have much better fast charging numbers. Now when it comes to connectivity, with all of these headphones, they can be connected to any two Bluetooth devices at the same time, which is good if you're a power user, because you can easily hot swap from one device to another regardless of ecosystem. And when it comes to overall performance, all of these headphones have zero latency across the board when watching movies or videos on your phone, whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device. But when it comes to audio codecs, the Bose QC headphones only have support for SBC and AAC. Now, AAC is perfectly fine, but with both of Sony's headphones, they have support for SBC and AAC, but they also have support for LDAC, which is Sony's own in-house high-res audio codec. Just keep in mind that if you do want to take advantage of LDAC, you do have to be an Android user, because iPhones top out at AAC. And also, if you do decide to use LDAC on these headphones, that is going to take an additional toll on the battery life. But if you want to, you can always just use a wired connection with any of these headphones, because they all still have an audio jack. The only thing to keep in mind here is that Bose's headphones are using a 2.5mm audio jack, whereas Sony's headphones are using your more common 3.5mm audio jack. But the really important thing to keep in mind here is that with all of these headphones, they can be used passively. So even if you want to use them with a wired connection, they don't have to be powered on like with the Bose QC Ultras. However, the USB-C ports on all of these headphones are strictly used for charging. You cannot use any of these USB-C ports as a wired connection.
But with all that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Now, both of Sony's headphones are people pleasers, as in if you like a neutral sound signature or if you like a bass heavy sound signature, both of these headphones should have you covered. And with both of these headphones, you can adjust their EQ to your liking, because they both have an adjustable EQ. However, the XM5s do have slightly better instrument separation to them than the XM4s, so they sound a little more open and they have a little more detail, but the XM4s have a little more bass to them. Personally, I think more people are going to prefer the XM4s over the XM5s because they have a little more physicality or kick in their bass, so you can actually feel their bass, because with the Bose QC, these are a pair of headphones that are better suited for someone that likes a more neutral or focus DQ, because the bass on these headphones is mostly on the audible side, as in you can hear the bass, but you don't really feel the bass. Now, the QCs also have an adjustable EQ, and you can go in and raise their bass, but even if you were to crank their bass all the way up, you're still not going to feel them rattling your head like how you would with the Sony XM4s. So overall, the Bose QCs are going to be better suited for someone that likes a more neutral or vocals focused EQ, whereas both of Sony's headphones, even though they might not sound as open as the Bose QCs, I think these are going to do a much better job of pleasing more people, because if you like a neutral or vocals focused EQ, then both of Sony's headphones can do that, or if you want to feel your bass, then both of Sony's headphones can do that as well. But the XM4s do have more physicality in their bass than the XM5s. Now, when it comes to their media controls, both of Sony's headphones have the same touchpads, and both of these touchpads are very easy to use and they're very accurate. But I know some people just don't like touchpads on their headphones, so that's where the Bose QC will come in, because they have physical buttons. So controlling your media with the Bose QCs is easier and more accurate, but the touchpads on both of Sony's headphones are not problematic.
However, something that both of Sony's headphones have over the Bose QCs is that they both have wear sensors. So they'll both automatically pause your music when you take them off, and then when you put them back on, they'll start playing your music again. Now personally, I don't really care for wear sensors on my headphones, so I usually just turn them off, but they're there if you want them.
But now let's talk about the active noise cancellation on these headphones. Now for the last year and a little bit, the Sony 1000XM5s were the kings when it came to blocking out noise. They blocked out the most amount of noise at sea level, and they blocked out the most amount of noise at cruising altitude. Now the Bose QCs block out an impressive amount of noise, but not as much as the Sony 1000XM5s, but they are close. But so that you can see for yourself, we're going to jump into an ANC test. So like you may have just seen, overall, the Sony 1000XM5s blocked out the most amount of noise here, both when it came to constant low frequency sounds like road noise and random higher frequency sounds like chatter. However, the Bose QCs blocked out noticeably more noise than the Sony 1000XM4s. Now, the active noise cancellation on the Bose QC is impressive, but the main differentiating factor between the ANC on Bose's and Sony's headphones is that Bose's headphones have a little more cabin pressure than Sony's headphones. Now, the cabin pressure on the Bose QCs isn't bad, and it's not unbearable, like the cabin pressure found on both the AirPod Max and Bose QC35. But with the Bose, you do feel a little pressure on your eardrum when there's a lot of noise pollution to block out. Whereas with both of Sony's headphones, these have less cabin pressure, even the Sony 1000XM5s, and they manage to block out more noise than the Bose QCs. So overall, the Sony 1000XM5s still have better performing active noise cancellation over the Bose QCs. They block out more noise with less cabin pressure. But when it comes to comparing the ANC on the Bose QC versus the Sony 1000XM4s, if you want better comfort, you can go with the XM4s, but they won't block out as much noise. Or if you want to block out more noise, then you can go with the Bose QC, but you might feel a little more pressure on your eardrums. But then there's the ambient mode on these headphones. Now, all of these headphones have an ambient mode, and all of these ambient modes sound very natural, and they have a zero hissing in the background. And through a recent firmware update, you can now somewhat adjust how much noise the Bose let in. It's not as straightforward as it should be, but technically you can do it now, just like how you can adjust the ambient mode on both of Sony's headphones. However, the ambient mode on the Bose is the worst implemented here. First off, the microphone array on the Bose QC is very fast to pick up wind noise when walking outdoors, which can be annoying, whereas wind noise isn't a problem for Sony's headphones. But also, the ambient mode on the Bose QC lets in everything, like this. Major headphone warning. So like you just saw, the Bose QCs just let in that siren, which is a problem, especially if you plan on commuting to work with these headphones. Whereas with the Sony 1000XM4s, these have an active ambient mode, and they will protect you from sudden loud sounds like this. So like you just saw, with the 1000XM4s, they turned off their ambient mode when they detected that siren, and they were very fast to react. And when that siren stopped, they turned their ambient mode back on. The XM4s get it right here, whereas with the XM5s, not so much. So like you just saw, the XM5s were fast to react, but then they turned their ambient mode on and off and on and off and back on again. I don't know why the XM5s can't get it right like the XM4s, and even after over a year, Sony still hasn't fixed this through a firmware update. But overall, both of Sony's headphones have better performing ambient modes on them because you can more easily adjust how much noise they let in, and their microphone arrays do a much better job of blocking out wind noise when walking outdoors. But I do feel the XM4s have the best ambient mode here because they will protect your hearing from sudden loud sounds. But also, both of Sony's headphones have speak to chat, which works a little like this.
Hello there. So this is speak to chat. Basically, when I start talking, these headphones will automatically lower the volume of their music and pump in all of the ambient sound around you so that you can quickly talk to someone without even to have to touch the headphones themselves. Now, these headphones will stay in this state for a preset determined amount of time, which you can adjust through their app, or you can always end speak to chat by double tapping on the touchpad like this. But personally, I'm not a really big fan of speak to chat because it's very easy to accidentally activate it. If you start talking to yourself very quietly, that can activate it. If you start laughing, that can activate it. If you sing along to your music, that can activate it. And on rare occasions, outside sounds can activate it as well. So that's why I don't like to use it. Personally, I prefer to use quick attention on both of Sony's headphones because it's a lot more intentional. And basically, when you fully cover the touchpad on both of Sony's headphones, they'll automatically lower the volume of your music and pump in all of the ambient sound around you so that you can quickly talk to someone without having to fully remove your headphones like this. And then when you let go, they'll go back to normal again. Now personally, I really love when my headphones have this type of feature because it's extremely useful, especially if you plan on flying with your headphones, because if a flight attendant comes to you and they ask you something, you can very quickly respond, and you can also have very quick conversations with them. And this is a feature that just isn't found on Bose's headphones. And personally, I'm very annoyed that the Bose QC Ultras don't have this feature because the Bose NC700s do have this feature, and they call it conversation mode, and conversation mode is actually better implemented than quick attention on Sony's headphones. So I really hope that Bose adds a conversation mode to their Bose QC Ultras through a future firmware update. But finally, here's the microphone test. Now, the Sony 1000XM4s have the worst performing microphone here, but while in a quiet room, this microphone does sound decent. But with the Bose QC headphones, this microphone does a much better job of picking up your voice while in a quiet room. But then there are the Sony 1000XM5s, which I feel have better clarity than the Bose QC headphones while in a quiet room. But what really makes the Sony 1000XM5 stand out here is just how well this microphone is able to deal with noise pollution. Because right now, this microphone is doing a really good job of reducing all of this road noise. Because for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise. But if we were to switch back over to the Sony 1000XM5s, it is severely reduced. Now, the Bose QC headphones are also trying to reduce this road noise, but they are letting in more noise pollution, and the clarity on my voice isn't as good. But then there are the Sony 1000XM4s, and this microphone is letting in a lot more road noise, and there's a lot less clarity to my voice. Now, when it comes to blocking out chatter, this microphone is still letting in a decent amount of noise pollution, but there is better clarity to my voice this time around. Whereas with the Bose QC headphones, this microphone is doing a better job of reducing all of this chatter, and there's also some better clarity to my voice. But then there are the Sony 1000XM5s, and this microphone is blocking out the most amount of chatter, and my voice still sounds very clear. But again, for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this chatter. But if we were to switch back over to the Sony 1000XM5s, it is severely reduced. So overall, all of these headphones have a decent sounding microphones on them to take phone calls with while in a quiet room. But the Sony 1000XM5s have the best performing microphone here because they're able to deal with noise pollution much better.
But with all that being said, the Bose QCs are a pair of very comfortable headphones to wear. They block out a decent amount of noise and they have a decently small case, which makes them great for traveling. Now personally, I would prefer to fly with the Bose QCs over both of Sony's headphones because they're more comfortable, they block out more noise than the Sony 1000XM4s, and they have a smaller case than the Sony 1000XM5s. But if you can, I highly recommend that you get the Bose QC 45s instead of the Bose QCs while you can. However, if you want to block out the most amount of noise here, then you do want to go with the Sony 1000XM5s because they block out more noise with less cabin pressure. But if you want the best overall experience, I think the Sony 1000XM4s are the best option here. They're more comfortable than the Sony 1000XM5s and they have a smaller case, which is good for traveling. The XM4s also have a longer lasting battery life than the Bose QCs. They have a better performing ambient mode, which is going to protect your hearings from sudden loud sounds. You have a quick attention, which is great for traveling, and sound quality wise, these should be able to please more people with different tastes. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.